Hey y'all, welcome back to Chance for Adventure. I'm Eric and I am back with another takeover as I have taken one of the first high-speed railway systems in America on Brightline from Orlando, Florida to Miami, Florida. Brightline recently opened up their track from Orlando to Miami at the end of September, and I ended up going a few short weeks after at the beginning of October. To purchase my ticket, I downloaded Brightline's mobile app. There, I was able to select my departing city as well as my arrival city. This popped up a list of options that gave me different times and prices. With Brightline, you can select two different types of seatings. There is the smart seating or the premium seating. The smart seating is very similar to the economy seat, and the premium would be very similar to the first class seats. On the app, I've seen smart ticket prices go from $39 all the way up to $144. For my trip, I ended up purchasing a smart ticket for $79. Stick around for the end of this video as I ended up doing a budget breakdown on the price as well as how long it would take me if I chose to fly or drive as opposed to taking Brightline. Currently, Orlando's Brightline station is located at the Orlando International Airport, or MCO. It is located just outside of their new Terminal C. While it is housed in a separate building, it is still connected to Terminal C. On the exterior of the Brightline building, they are doing a lot of construction. This seems to be to make a better connection to the actual Terminal C building, as you currently have to cut through the Terminal C parking garage to get from the Brightline and airport tram building to the actual Terminal C. If you are coming from the Orlando International Airport's A and B terminal, there is a tram to C terminal that takes you into the building that houses Brightline. If you are taking a shuttle that drops you off at Terminal C, you are actually dropped off at the ground level of Terminal C, and you do have to make your way through up the elevator or escalator to the second floor, where you will then go into the parking garage and cut through the parking garage to get into Brightline's building. As I said before, I took my trip at the beginning of October. At that time, Brightline was still pretty new, and there were no signs currently to direct people from the ground level of Terminal C up to the second floor to cut through the garage. However, once you got up the escalator, they did have a Brightline sign that directed you to where to go to. So I actually ended up missing my first ever Brightline train. So if you do miss your train, you actually end up forfeiting your ticket, and you do have to purchase another ticket for a future train. Thankfully, the ticket agents at Brightline were very helpful, and I was able to get on the very next train, which was coming in shortly after. One thing that you can do if you know you're going to be late for your train is to change your train ticket on the Brightline app. And this would have saved me from having to forfeit my ticket and purchase a brand new ticket. Once everything was squared away and I had my ticket for the next available train, I was able to proceed through the gate and go through security. Brightline security is extremely easy. Even though you're at the airport, you don't go through TSA to get to your Brightline train. Brightline has their own security, and the staff there is incredibly friendly and helpful. Brightline security does have prohibited items that you cannot bring on board. The one thing I liked about going through Brightline security is that once you're through their security, you're already in the main building as the train is directly below you. The first thing I noticed when I stepped in was their gift shop. Behind the gift shop, there was a lounge set up, and behind that was their Mary Mary bar. They also have their own conference room at the MCO location. If you purchase a premium seat, you do have your own private lounge area. After missing my train, getting a new ticket, I definitely wanted a drink, so I ended up heading directly towards the Mary Mary bar. The bar is a full-service bar with a wide selection to choose from, and the bartenders were by far my favorite. They were fun, energetic, they helped me out so much, and they made me feel so much better after going through all of what I went through because I missed my train. They also have food at the bar, however, I did not try any of their food services at the Orlando location. I did, however, try the food service at the Miami location. The food is simple, but it is good. I also took part in ordering more drinks at the Miami location, and once again, the bartenders stood out to me. The Miami station is a little more spacious than Orlando's, and they have a prime location in downtown Miami in close proximity to the Metro Mover, which was really convenient because I ended up taking the Metro Mover to my hotel. They do have a spot where you can check larger bags onto the train. So if you are traveling with larger bags, you can check them like you would an airplane. With Brightline, you are allowed carry-ons, and they do have luggage racks on the inside of the train for slightly larger pieces of luggage. I only traveled with a backpack on this trip, so I didn't get to experience checking a bag on this particular trip. Brightline does list all of their prices and sizes for their bags. Once on board Brightline, the seats were comfortable, and I had plenty of leg room. I am almost 6 feet tall with really long legs, so leg room is very important for me. They also have a double tray table functionality. They have a larger one similar to an airplane, but they also have a smaller one where you can prop up your cell phone if you're wanting to watch a video or a streaming service. There's also an onboard trolley cart that has items available for purchase, such as sodas, snacks, and alcoholic beverages. After spending some time at the bars before getting onto the train, I definitely needed to go to the restroom, and I will say Brightline has some of the more spacious travel bathrooms I have ever seen. And my one favorite feature with this is that the doors open and shut electronically. When you're inside, you just hit the lock button, the door automatically closes and locks and lets everyone know on the outside that the bathroom is occupied. As it is a train and not an airplane, you are able to move about the cabin as well. If you're traveling to the bathroom, they do have seats just outside of the bathroom, so you can wait for the bathroom close by. This is where I got the shot where you can see in between the two cabins. It looks pretty rumbly and shaky, but honestly it wasn't as bad as it looks. One other cool feature that I liked is going from cabin to cabin, they have automatic sliding doors. Very modern and very useful when traveling to and from different cabins. One thing to note is that Brightline does have a few train stops on their way in between Orlando and Miami, and they do pick up and drop off passengers in between each stop. At certain points, you may have no one next to you in your seat, which is what happened on my first trip, or you may have someone jump on or off depending on where they're traveling to. One thing I decided to do was a budget breakdown, where I basically took my travel from where I'm at now to my hotel in Miami if I was going on a plane, train, or automobile. This is my personal budget breakdown to see how major of a difference it would have been to fly or drive compared to taking Brightline. I'll start off with my Brightline trip. As I said before, Brightline is located at the Orlando International Airport. So to get there, I had to drive to the airport, I had to pay tolls on the way to the airport, as well as I had to pay for parking at the airport on top of my train ticket. The tolls to get to the airport were $7.74. Parking at the airport for me was $16. The cost of my ticket for Brightline was $79. This brought my total cost to $102.74. As for the travel time, it takes me about an hour to get to the airport, and then 3-hour and 40-minute train ride on Brightline. Brightline can take less time, however, I did factor in a little extra time to scan your ticket and get through security. This brought my total travel time on Brightline to be 4 hours and 40 minutes. I decided to compare it to if I had just driven to Miami. For Miami's travel time, I've driven there before. I know how long it takes me personally, and it does take me 4 hours. Also know that I at least have to fill up my gas tank at least once, and my average price to fill up my gas tank entirely is around $40. Tolls to get to Miami are $13.50. And at my hotel in Miami, overnight parking was going to be $45. This brought my total cost of driving to Miami to $98.50. The last thing I did was check on airline tickets and flights. Use the same toll and parking as Brightline, as they are both located at the Orlando International Airport. When I looked up tickets from Orlando to Miami, they all were around $89, so just $10 more than my Brightline ticket, bringing my total price to $112.74. I also put in the hour it takes me to drive to the airport, the hour and 15-minute flying time it takes, and I also added 30 minutes for TSA and pre-boarding. This brought my total travel time with flying to 2 hours and 45 minutes. That is almost 2 hours faster than the Brightline service. After I did this budget breakdown, I looked at if I would take Brightline again, knowing that these are my options, and my answer is yes. I enjoyed Brightline because it was comforting, spacious, and it wasn't stressful to travel on. Currently, Brightline is working on expanding all the way from Orlando to Tampa. I do go to Tampa quite a bit, and I really hope this new train line goes through. After taking Brightline just to Miami, I am excited to see them expand to Tampa and across America. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have questions or suggestions for more videos, and I will see you all in another takeover.